sex scene is going to be Marina Baccarin. Oh, shit.
Mike Weinstein here with the boys at Burger Club. Excited to be on all the Over the Place podcasts where the fun sanity never ends.
Hello and welcome back to All Over the Place. I'm your host, Eric Pervoznik. Today, no threefer, no guest. It's our first show in December, and we're going to freestyle like we did in the early days of the show. And my original freestyle partner, Jim. How are you doing, Mr. Culver?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I am flippin-tastic, and we'll get to why a little bit later, but it's a bittersweet moment, but we'll get to that in a moment. But we got to cut over to Marty now. Back in the house. I have no idea what that is, but I like it.
That's a little rock.
Okay.
It's a little stone that my neighbor painted for Halloween.
All right. Well, just very quickly to kick off this, we're recording 2 days before Thanksgiving, and I'm thankful for Buffalo Trace. So I'm going to pour a little shot here,
and I'm going to join you with a little single barrel Jack Daniels.
All right, and Jim will join with whatever he can claim is in the cup, and we don't
know what it is.
That's
water?
Definitely absinthe.
That's
absinthe.
Yeah,
there we
water.
Go.
That's the ticket.
Oh, he's doing a shot. What are you, 20?
Oh, yeah. Buffalo Trace, good. And I didn't want to make a face. That's a good. Anyway, I made whiskey face.
Wait. Let me show you how it's done, sir.
Oh, yes.
Here we go.
Catch up there. Catch up. That's what I'm talking about. Yep.
That's a whiskey face right there.
That's good whiskey face. I almost bought a shot this afternoon. I make whiskey decisions.
You were shooting it like you were in college, though. I'm just sipping it.
Yes, got to get them in quickly. Because today, we are 2 days before Thanksgiving. Just very quickly, I want to give thanks for you guys being here. Marty, it's so great having you back. Didn't have a chance to express that as much as Jim and I were feeling because we had the guests on the show that day. And just very quickly, you know what? I got to throw a shot of. All right, this is it because I got to drive in a few minutes.
Safety third.
You want me to take a shot, Rocky? All right, I'll take a shot.
Oh my gosh! And that kills the bottle.
Oh boy!
Nice.
And this one, I'm going to sit this way, but I want to give a salute here to the man who will hopefully be starting the Boys Bourbon Club, Boys Burger Club. Mike Weinstein. We had a great time with him and Marty. That was your first show back in a while, and I just want to express my thanks for not just having you on the show as a friend. It is so great having you back in my life and in our lives here. So, salute, my friend.
Good to be back.
See, there's good whiskey face. That's a Buffalo Trace face right there. Yeah. So freestyling it, and right now, of course, we recently aired dropped our politically minded show, the post-election elation, and the things are still shifting around, the appointments going on, but it's holiday season. I'm just feeling a lot of good right now. Driving around, gas prices are lower, a lot of things are lower, and we're swinging in the right direction. What are you guys thinking? Because you guys are behind certain curtains that I don't have to endure here in Arizona. But what's the flavor like up there for you now, Jim, in the post-election, maybe not so elated up there in Washington?
I think up here, a lot of people just don't want to talk about it right now. I think they just kind of moving on, focusing on some other stuff, and just not really in the mood to talk about it, which is kind of how it goes after an election that doesn't go a certain way.
I remember
some of the some of the Harris signs are still up. Some of them aren't. I think some of them are going to stay up for a long time out of pure spite, which happens. But
pardon the interruption here, but you're in, if I remember right, you're in a part of the state that actually goes a little more red, aren't you? Or is it still purple or blue?
No, I'm in deep blue, Western Washington.
Okay, or you're close up to Seattle then, so that still affects you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just north of Seattle in a very blue part of the state, very blue part of a blue part of the state. No, it's been a sea of Harris signs, and I've seen people say, like, does anybody actually care enough about her to put a sign up? Oh yes, in my neighborhood they were everywhere. People care.
Really?
Yeah,
I saw maybe two.
No, they're all over the place.
Cycle. I saw.
Well, I'll tell you why, Marty, because all the ones who moved from California are now living in Scottsdale. And on my bike rides, I saw more than I would expect in Arizona, but Scottsdale being what it is. But I saw some that were even more emphatic. Harris Waltz, of course.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Think like me, of course. Wait,
yeah, I've got of course signs
out of the ground and tear it up.
No, I'm not getting. That's not my style. You want to put that up?
I think that's what you're supposed to do, right? That's what.
Well, here's the thing. It came in handy because I don't know if you guys saw on Facebook. I took a picture, and my apologies. I may have mentioned this on the show, but either way, as I was driving around one of the neighborhoods, it was just wall to wall Harris Waltz, just the litany. Ruben Gallegos out here, who ran against Kerry Lake for state senator, and just so I took a picture. So when I got down to do my voting, if I was questioning something like the school board and all that stuff, I'm like, I know who not to vote for now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad I didn't rip those out of the ground, or I could have ripped them out of the ground after I took the picture. But no, I was live and let live. Do what you're going to do, and
what you're saying is it's okay to disagree. That's amazing.
Well, a lesson I did not learn, but before I get to that, Marty, just what's it like where you are, because you're actually in a southern part of California.
I'm in a really burgundy part of California.
You're closer to San Diego, so that makes more sense. Yeah,
not just that. I'm close. I'm more inland.
Yeah, that too.
So the place where I live is kind of call it the Bro Valley, because it's kind of along the 215 area, that corridor there. It's a lot of motocross guys, a lot of off-road guys, Jeeps. That kind of a person lives in this area.
Manly men doing manly things.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but I am very, very manly.
It's true.
It's just a more red area. Along the coast, it's a lot more blue. If you get down in the coast and down more towards San Diego, it gets a little bluer for sure. It is Southern California, but we're in like a red section of it over here, not unlike some Northern California areas.
Yeah.
So I saw two Harris signs and I thought, that's interesting. Yeah. But to your point about to Jim's point here about everybody being quiet, not wanting to talk about it. I get it. Like you talk shit for, a whole straight year and then it doesn't go your way. And I remember, and I'm sure you guys remember this, a little guy named Barry. I felt the same way. I was just like, God dang it. Oh, it is what it is. And you got to move on. But I don't want to talk about it. I was I'm not interested in talking about it. I guess it's the same thing. The Browns beat the Steelers, and I did not want to talk football. Let me tell you.
Yeah, you didn't even reply to my text where damn Browns, BRAHNS.
I haven't even watched the Pittsburgh Dad episode because.
Please, by all means, and you mentioned him, so we get to tag Pittsburgh Dad on this episode. So we're going to hopefully look at some of his traffic now. But actually, let's shift to that because we did the political show, the post-election elation. I just want to get the general vibe because you guys are definitely more blue than I am. And even though, as mentioned, some of those California expatriates who did not, like I did when I crossed the border, yell freedom, they're infiltrating. But
I did as well. When I moved to Arizona, it was 16 years ago, whatever it was. Driving over there, I passed a guy in a car with no seatbelt on, and I thought, that doesn't do anything for me. About 10 minutes later, I pass into Arizona, and I'm cruising along the 10 freeway, and I hear a bike coming. It's a Harley. And as he goes by, I look over because I like bike. I look over, no helmet, smoking a cigarette. And I just went, I have found my place.
Yep.
And that's why I moved here. And yeah, this may say Pennsylvania. I bleed blue and white. I'm a Pennsylvanian through and through, but I'm in Arizona now. I'm a Pennsylvanian. That's why I moved here. There's still, despite the California infiltration, this is still enough of an outlaw state And I love, I'm not a smoker, but damn it, that image you just painted.
Yeah, and I don't ride on the highway without my helmet, but I thought nobody should tell him he can't do it.
Yep.
That's it.
It harkened back to my old man. He had a buddy with a really stretched out chopper, and one day he took it for a spin, and I came walking out, and he came pulling up into the driveway, cigarette hanging out of his mouth, pulled up on this cool chopper, and I was like, man, that's like a superhero. But this was like 1976 or 7.
Back when we had Jim, just bear with Marty and I right now, but we had Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch. The Chopper
Yes, we are terrifically old.
Yes, well, Hanna-Barbera, rock and roll.
Fantastic.
But I almost said, as I did my shot, I almost said up the irons. And Marty, I hope you're noticing what's behind. Well, I'll go this way.
Oh man, that Senjutsu is rocking hard there.
Well, you've got Senjutsu combined with the Future Past tour, so you've got the Android mixed in there too from oh my God, why am I blanking? I just bought it on LP too. Stranger in a Strange Land, Alexander the Great, help me out. Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Somewhere in time?
As soon as you put that in front of me, I knew it. So, but yes, I talked about it a little bit when we had Jeffrey Bryan on, but I wish you could have been here, Marty, because see, the last time Maiden came through town, I was in charge of getting tickets for me and Marty and another guy that we worked with, Todd Anderson, and Marty and Todd's wives. And I got hoodwinked. I got snookered that day. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see Maiden that night. But I wish you could have been here for this, my friend, because they had the Who from Mongolia opening. Didn't understand a word they said. But damn it, it sounded good. It was metal straight up my ass. It would have been a good night for us.
Phrasing.
But, just a quick side, because we're freestyling, folks, and I have a little liquor running through my veins. And with Maiden in mind, between the three of us, I think I'm the one who actually stays most current with music.
Yes.
But I want to give a quick. This is not a threefer. We may do our top favorite albums of the year, if you guys even know 3 albums from this year, and I'm not saying that haughtily, but I'm going to give my top 3 of the year so far, and that would be Black Crowes, Sadness Bastards, kicking it back to when they were just rolling over everybody back in the 90s. It's Chris and Rich Robinson have made up, and my God, they're making great rock and roll again. Number 2 is going to be the latest from The Cure. And I'm not sure if either of you guys like The Cure, but holy shit. Their new albums. Their
new album's called Holy Shit?
Yes. Well, it might as well be, because it could have been like, I'm a big Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me guy, 87. But then I know Disintegration is a lot of people's favorites. Another great album. I just prefer Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. This album could have been the next album. It was just that evolution. And here we are in 2024. They're saying that the touring's not going to be what it was. And if they're going to go out on a note like this, it's classic Cure, dour, bleak. Yeah. And I'm telling
you. Wait, can I guess your third one?
Go ahead.
Something from Lucero.
No, they didn't have a new album this year.
Or Drive-By Truckers.
They didn't have a new album this year.
Okay. Go ahead.
Neither did Tommy Stinson. I'm going to go with the latest from the Jesus and Mary chain, Glasgow Eyes.
Didn't even know they had an album out.
Yep. It's
you're telling me you're not a Swiftie.
That is true. I am not a Swiftie. Nothing against Taylor Swift, nothing for or against, but no, it's but no, there are 3 albums from 3 great bands who have probably their best stuff was in the 80s and or 90s, and just it was another great year for music, and those 3 stood out. And the Maiden tour was kick ass. And I'll get into my favorite show later on, but what are you guys listening to right now?
I am listening to fantasy football podcasts, and more importantly, I am listening to the Dark Tower series.
Ooh.
Yes.
So is that the book read or is it,
Yes,
what's it about?
audiobooks. Every
Oh,
chance
okay.
I get, whoop, and I go for it.
Who's
And
reading it?
It's great. Huh?
Who's reading it?
All different people. Every book's got a different person, but man, they pick really good people. It's fantastic. I really,
Nice.
really like it. I don't know. Reading for me, because I'm not a fast enough reader, I can't get into the story as easily. But man, when someone could read to the dumb guy, man, like a little kid again. I'm like, oh yeah, read me a book. But it's good because I do it all in all different scenarios: driving, mowing the lawn, whatever. I really, really like audiobooks.
Nice.
And how can you go wrong with Rolling the Gunslinger? Like, it's great. Loving it. I only read The Gunslinger, so these other stories are all new to me. So I'm on the third one.
Like it.
It's
Jim, what about you? What's your audio pleasures these days?
I don't listen to a lot of new music. Most of the music I listen to is at least 10 years old at this point. So I can't recommend a whole lot of new stuff as far as that goes. Occasionally I pick up something good, mostly off other media that's new, but not a whole lot. As far as things like podcasts, that's more what I'm into these days. I listen to a lot of those podcasts, YouTubers. A couple of podcasts I like. There's one called Almost Cult Classics. It's a movie podcast that I enjoy. A couple of guys. What's that?
That's a shocker. Kind of spot on there, huh, Jim?
Yep. Oh yeah, I know. I'm surprising everybody these days.
We've got a new platform. I've got to add this to the banners. I need to have trivia with Jim ready to go next time around.
There you go. It's just a couple of movie buffs from Chicago riffing on the stuff they've been seeing, and it's pretty entertaining stuff. One of them is like a 30-year-old, but he sounds just like Jerry Seinfeld, so he usually does a Jerry Seinfeld riff. But yeah, pretty entertaining stuff. And there's another one I like called Friday Night Tights. It's on the Nerdrotic channel. It's a bunch of comic book nerds and movie nerds talking about pop culture, but it's got a very politically incorrect bent, and they tell a lot of jokes that you're not supposed to get away with telling on social platforms these days. They have a lot of fun there, so it's a real kick to listen to. It's mostly along those lines. Obviously,
I brought that up because a near future threefer, and I won't share. I'll just give the teaser for it. Baseball game I was working this past weekend. There, one of my catchers, we were talking, and I made a Stripes reference.
Okay.
And I just as if you're going to get that right. He's like, and he shot back another line from the movie. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was Caddyshack. We went into Stripes after that, but and you're like, is your mom or dad here right now? Because I just want to thank them for teaching you right. So one of our future threefers is going to be, and now that we are in, this post-election elation, and we're seeing the pendulum swing, and woke it's not going to go away, but it just got a huge punch in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the threefers, and I don't know, and I'm asking you guys now, if you shoot it down, fine. But I think movies, because we talked about it in the future, whether it's with Christian or Jacob from Society Movies, or Christian Toto from Hollywood and Toto, two people we get to tag again. And so but movies that should be passed generation to generation, regardless of their content, whether it's a coming of age or just a stone cold classic. And we're not going to say it couldn't be remade right now, but just something that could pass along, because I think it's great, and especially as someone whose father sat me down to watch Animal House when I was 9 years old, a year after the movie came out.
That's a good dad right there.
Much to my, if I haven't said it before, folks, I was raised by a Methodist father and a Catholic mother. as far as I'm concerned, it turned out all right. But it's it's as okay as it's going to be. The secular and the religious worlds clashed at times, but I think I turned out okay. But I'd like, and that's just something I think that I think would make for a good threefer. But there's your teaser, folks. And if we get to that, that'll be coming up in the next few weeks. And it's nice when you've got a 16, 17-year-old kid who knows Caddyshack.
Yeah,
that made me feel good.
I have my version of that with my grandson. I took him to Deadpool, the first one. I took him when he was 6.
Oh, he was 6?
Oh, wow.
Yes, this lady, she had maybe a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, and about a 15-year-old, and then the mom and dad. And she freaked out. We're leaving. And she got up and she shot me the dirtiest look ever. And I just smiled. Because he was
did Anthony smile as well?
Yeah, well, he was staring at the side of my head, waiting for me to tell him it was over. Which, by the way, I didn't tell him to do it. He just did it. He just, and of course, the 15-year-old's like, and the dad, they're like, "What the hell?" Because he wasn't, we'll say.
I imagine. I imagine a lot of the jokes went over a 6-year-old's head anyway.
Sure, but there was the sex scene,
Right.
It was too much for him, but you know what? Too much is the right amount, and he'll be fine, right? Probably.
And if look, I'm trying to think back. My first sex scene, it probably would have been Caddyshack. Danny and the Irish girl, Maggie.
All right, this is a good little topic. What's yours?
Girl with the worst Irish accent ever.
That would,
but if your first sex scene is going to be Marina Baccarin, oh shit!
You could do worse.
Those yours.
You could do worse. Mine. I don't even remember what the movie was called. I think my parents put me to bed and put some R-rated movie on, and I think I just snuck into the room and saw it and just had no idea what I was looking at. But I don't remember how old I was. I must have been pretty young, but it left an impression. I'll just say that.
Well, Marty, we've heard Anthony's your grandson. So what was your first cinematic sex scene?
10.
Oh, with Bo Derek.
Wow, Bo Derek.
My dad took me. My parents were divorced. The old man would just take me to these movies. He didn't give a single shit.
Well, I'm running low here, but I'm throwing one up for Pablo.
Hey, here. My old man.
Well, in deference to the man who gave me a great word for my vernacular, that was a semi-shot.
Shots. Let's do some shots.
Rest in peace, Pablo. I'm so proud of that. I got to go drinking with that man when you weren't there.
Yes, and that is a badge of honor to go drinking with my old man. Let me tell you.
Yeah. I've done it with you. Party. I've done it without you. And Pablo Zamora.
Is he not a legend in Oceanside, California?
He's Mr. Oceanside. That man needs a plaque in every bar.
He has one in one of the bars.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the Pirate Bar?
No, the Haunted Head. No, it's not that one.
Oh, it should be. That's where he was on his. I'm the shit, and he was never arrogant about it. But that's where I saw him at his fine, and people were just coming up to him the most there.
Yeah. It was stumbling distance from his house, so he could drive there and walk home. The next morning, he'd walk to his car and go to breakfast. He had his ways.
As long as it's within walking distance, you're good to go, man.
Yeah, and it was right there at the beach. You're walking along he said a lot of times he would go the half a block further, walk down the Strand, and then half a block back up to his house, just so he could be right on the sand. But man, bug on a windshield. That's what he always said.
Well, that was one of my favorite things about living in Sherman Oaks adjacent, otherwise known as Van Nuys. I was a mile. I clocked it out with the car, but I was exactly 1 mile from Ireland's 32. And so Friday night, Saturday, I would walk there and stumble home.
Yeah, you're drunk. A mile's nothing. It's nothing.
You walk off a little bit of that.
Yeah, by the time you get home, you're hungry.
And there was a Carl's Jr. around the corner. So, yes, I would just go and just get home with me. Yeah.
I found something from the PNW, not the squirrel, but I just remembered.
Okay. Oh, and Jim, on Carl's Jr., I just saw it. I'm doing a little bit more driving right now. I just discovered that Carl's Jr. has it's their bacon cheeseburger. Well, their Western bacon cheeseburger Wednesdays, $1.99.
Ooh,
Really?
okay. You're just torturing me now.
No.
40 miles from Carl's Jr.?
I understand you are an hour away from yours. Jim, tomorrow I'll be having 2 for you.
Oh,
3
well.
for you.
You guys are calorie cousins.
You were too kind, Eric. I appreciate it.
Well, but here's the problem with that, because we're riffing, folks, and again, the liquor is flowing through my veins. I stepped on the scale today. I am 227 pounds.
At all?
I am down 12 pounds from where I was a month ago.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Sir.
At least 10,000 steps a day. And that's actually going to dovetail into where I wanted to go. And you guys can stop me whenever you want, because you've heard me. And Marty, you have been the greatest friend for me right now over these last 3 weeks. But for those who have been noticing that Christine, our old producer, has been in absentia since June. She decided to step aside, but she and I are no longer a couple, and it's, as I said, it worked until it didn't. But I just, in this spirit of Thanksgiving, and I'm dragging through mud. There's no mud to drag. Look, I was in love, and some of the best times of my life were with this woman. Worked until it didn't. But one thing I am especially thankful for in regards to this podcast, we wouldn't be where we are right now without her. And she came in, she had a background in this stuff, and the medium, and just was able to steer us in directions that I will be eternally thankful for. Again, we wouldn't be where we were. And Christine, salut.
Sure. I'm Team Eric, but she did a lot for you and this podcast. So, Christine.
But and off of that bittersweet note, I need to tell a story, because this past weekend I got to meet in person, in the flesh, Josh from the Vandoliers. And I went and saw the Lucero and Vandoliers show at the first place I saw them 5 years ago, about this time of year. There's just something about November with Lucero coming here and having the Vandoliers with them. What I said earlier about the Cure album, damn. One of the best live shows of my life. Vandoliers kicked total ass. And then that paved the way. Actually, Ben Nichols from Lucero came out and sang a song with Vandoliers. Then later in the night, Josh and a couple of the other guys from Vandoliers, come to think of it, all of them came out, and they were just singing. It was a party, and that's the best kind of concert down at Crescent Ballroom here in Phoenix, my favorite venue for seeing live shows. And it was just an amazing night. And the next night, I was able to go to a private party. I met a guy that night at the show, got invited to a private party, and got to see Vandoliers. It was Ben. I don't know. Ben is with Lucero. Okay, liquor's flowing through my veins, folks. Josh, and then a couple of the guys from Vandolier, Corey and Travis. And it was just backyard party, pool party, and it was an amazing night. I have found a new tribe here in Phoenix. We are in the place is called Casa Musica. And Mike, I got to give one up to Mike Gus, who is hopefully going to be a future guest on the show. Marty, I believe I've already told you about this, but it's the first time on the show. He has an entire wall dedicated to one of Marty's and my favorite bands, Motley Crue. And it's nice. Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking forward to having Mike on the show. I had a great night that night and just ran into some people I've known through the years just going to shows here in Phoenix. And it's, in the immortal words of the Cars, just what I needed. So, yeah.
Here's the mic. I'm not driving.
There you go. But, yeah, that was an amazing night, and I'm looking forward to that. Oh, and actually, I want to close on this because I'm actually, I got to get to meeting one of our past guests right now.
Future sponsor,
Nick Bohr from Vinyl Record Dude. We're getting together tonight for happy hour
Once he gets
with his
rolling,
family.
he
I'm
won't
going to get
stop.
to meet his daughters tonight.
No matter what I say, he'll just keep going.
So go ahead, Marty. I'm just rambling. Go ahead.
It's like the Big Lebowski. Everybody's just talking over
In
each
the
other.
comment section,
Jesus Christ.
this is going to be my next tattoo.
What the hell is that? Is that an alien?
It's an alien in a hot rod spaceship. I got this in Seattle when I went on my Alaskan cruise. And
Okay.
I really, really love this picture, and I think it's going to be my next tattoo. In the comments, please vote. Let me know, yay or nay. Is it stupid or is it stupid cool?
Well, here's a question.
Yes.
Carry on.
This will determine my yay or nay vote, Marty.
Yes.
Where are you getting it?
Probably here.
It's an arm tattoo. Well, so are we still on track for the?
It's
Iron
not an
Maiden?
alien from Uranus.
It is a minion from my anus.
So on the arm, I'm going to give it the thumb up. You get the yes vote for me. But the Iron Maiden tattoo across the entire back is still on the agenda,
Yeah, I
right?
want to do a big fuck off Eddie on my back.
Okay, all right. So, Jim, are you yay or nay
It's like,
for
what the
that
hell's
one?
wrong with you?
Well, I'm yay 100% because it's not happening to me. Go for it.
What are you saving your skin up for?
Well, I want to close on a movie I got, because I ran into a friend who I hadn't seen in a while, and also a former guest of of the show, Dana Pappas, referred me to a movie called 500 Days of Silence. And it mainly features a local band here, a Tempe band called the Black Moods, who I saw open for Gin Blossoms and Collective Soul a few years ago, again 5 years ago. And very cool live band. It's a three piece. They're a trio, and they are highly featured in this movie. And it dealt with the wake of the COVID. I'm going to say it's scamdemic, and I know Marty's in 100% agreeing with me on that one.
I'm with you.
And here's it, folks. Just a quick disclaimer: was it a virus? Yes. Was it also a manufactured virus? I say yes, but think what you want. It was a manufactured crisis to get us to obey. But that aside, the movie 500 Days of Silence, you've got the Black Moons, but also Sammy Hagar and The Circle are all in it. I think it's a guy. Oh gosh, I'm blanking now. Corey Taylor. What bands is he in? Jim, help me. It's a slightly younger band. So Corey Taylor's with. It's not Slipknot, is it?
I don't believe so.
Marty.
I'm not sure.
But I think it's Corey Taylor. He's in the band. He's featured in the movie. You've got.
You're right. I looked it up. It is Slipknot.
So, and you'll appreciate this, Jim. The lead singer from Jimmy Eats World, another Phoenix or Arizona band. He's in it, and also Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon. And they're talking about, in the wake of all the restrictions and all the rules that came down on that movie, or on the in the wake of the COVID virus, and just how they dealt with it as musicians. And for me, it was cool to hear the individual stories, but I was also getting pissed off because what we know, and again, you deal with what you know at the time you know it, but there were guys. So I remember Sammy Hagar fighting tooth and nail because a friend of mine and I, we had tickets to see Sammy that fall, and they weren't saying no. Oh, and also in the movie, a former guest of ours here on All Over the Place, Danny Zalesko, is featured in the movie because he's a promoter and talking about just the different ways he had to adjust to the restrictions that were being placed. But I watched that movie. I was enjoying and learning what the bands were going through, because look, they're the ones on stage. They get off on it more than as much, if not more, than we do as audience members. But I'm pissed off because why didn't we? Well, Marty and I did. I'm sure Jim did. Standing up to the people who are throwing these rules at us, and now, especially knowing what we know now, I'd like to know what these guys think, knowing what we know now, and just why didn't rock and roll, formerly, the bastion of fuck you to the man, decide to say, Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Rage Against the Machine, anyone?
You mean Rage for the Machine?
Exactly. So, I mean, I do recommend it's available on Spotify. I rented it for, I think, $3-4. The movie it's worth an hour and a half, but you know, like, well, I mean, sight
Is that the only
unseen.
platform it's on?
Well, it's on Amazon.
Okay.
But yeah, again, the Black Moose local band, and a lot of the people at that party I was at, big blacks. It's kind of like it's not even. It's like the 2 degrees of separation to Black Moods fans there. But check out it's 500 Days of Silence.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Be
check that out.
prepared though to. I mean, just I know for me, because we went all 2020 after middle of March. Nothing. And they even talked about the John Fogerty show that I was going to go see on, I think it was either 315 or 316, playing over at one of the local venues. Excuse me. Sorry, the whiskey is coming from the veins to the throat there.
You got too much blood in your whiskey.
I know.
You should definitely get in the car immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not drinking and driving if you drink before you drive.
I'm fine. It was a burp. But it talks about that and like canceling that show because I was ready to go. I was living in Mesa at the time, and I'm like, tickets are still on sale. I'll drop the $75. It's John Fogerty. And then 11th hour, they cut it. And then we went from middle of March, and here in Arizona it was a little different than whether California, Washington, different parts across the country. But just when things came back and they talk about in the movie, just like the social distancing, the people still wearing masks. Again, that now that we know, even from Fauci's words, was arbitrary bullshit. And I want to know.
He said they don't help. He did tell the truth early on when he said they don't do anything.
But Marty and I were working together at the time down at at Canyon State Academy in Queen Creek, Arizona, and we had to deal with the people bowing to these draconian requests.
Yeah.
Again, the movie is definitely worth seeing, but man, it gets the blood boiling. That and I don't want to say we because Marty and I, and there were enough people across the country who were saying, why cognitive thought? Yeah, this is not right. But you watch it,
I will say this
all over again.
From the beginning, Eric did not waver, not even one little bit. I had questions at the beginning. I was concerned. What are we doing? Is this real? This seems weird. This doesn't seem right. Eric, from the very beginning, and he never wavered, said this is utter bullshit. And in the end, Eric was right. And
I wasn't looking to be right.
That's off to you, sir.
But
you were right.
Well, Marty, I mean, I followed your lead a lot too, because we're fellow libertarians to varying degrees. But your wife had an early strain. She was sick for what? At least 3 weeks, probably more like 4 weeks straight.
Yeah, they didn't even know what it was.
Which of course concerned us at work, but just catching it. But
yeah, she was very sick.
Yeah, my mom was the same way. It was this strain. My mom's a few years older than your wife, but it's just a little. But with the older generation, and again, was it a virus? Yes. Did certain people contract it? But it was everything that a normal virus attacks: the elderly
and the weak.
And those with weaker immune systems. I got a weak immune system. And I'm not, again, Marty, thank you. I mean, I didn't even realize that I was that much off board.
Yeah.
But
at the beginning, I was not as convinced as you. It seemed not right. Something seemed to miss. But you were staunch. You planted your heels.
I mean, again, that's partially to you, and because you introduced me to different venues, different alternate medias, but they say it's the they say stand up, I sit down. They said stay inside. I went hiking. I went biking. I was in the best shape of my life.
Yeah.
And for a guy who was in his late 40s, early 50s, the best I ever looked, but there's no one to go out with me because everybody had to stay inside. But it's anyway, but it's 500 Days of Silence. Check out. Oh, actually, Rick Springfield's in it as well. I almost forgot about the Ricker, a former guest on the old Mr. E Pluribus show. So
yeah, why don't you get him back, bro?
Yeah. I'm telling you, that guy, I'm not sure what Botox is or whatever, but my God, he's got probably at least 30 years on me, and he looks like my little brother. Right there, Rick, right there. And don't think I won't be using that as a clip reel to sell the show.
No.
But yeah, but hey, we are going to wrap up right now our freestyle, our Freestyle 2024, the holiday edition. But again, Marty, it's so great to have you back in our lives, both here at
thank you,
at All Over the Place, and then personally.
Yep.
I couldn't have gotten through these last three,
1
4
moment.
weeks without
I
you,
need,
my friend.
I need a refill.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
And Jim, this has been an amazing year, and we got another 3 weeks to go on it. It's just we're going to keep getting better. And a quick teaser: we've got Mike Peters from The Alarm and his wife Jules Peters coming on the show. We've got oh God, why am I blanking now? There's a bunch of new band, a couple of new bands. Is it Sam Hill? Is it the guy that I mentioned to you guys? The blues guy, a one man blues band. He's coming on.
That guy is an excellent musician.
Yes, and
I
want to give a shout out to Chipster PR and also to Ray over at Ray Roldan at Raby. And again, I all of our guests. It's been an amazing year. We're not done yet, so I'll get into the litany of everybody who's been with us this year. But damn it, everybody, thank you. I'm a sentimental guy. It's been an amazing year. We still got 3 weeks to go. In 2025, we're just going to keep growing, and I'm going to keep going through adult puberty.
Peter Brady.
But hey, one more salut, and we're out of here, guys. Folks, thanks for listening or watching here on All Over the Place. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share. We're nothing without you, and we continue to grow. Thank you so much. We'll be back real soon with Marty and Jim and me, Eric Provazic, your host here on All Over the Place. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
All Over the Place, where the fun sanity never ends.